Hello, this is Pastor Roland, checking in to see how you're doing. Hope you're doing well. Some of you are not doing so well. You have issues. Okay? Now, I don't need to tell you. In fact, if you're watching this video, you already know. In your heart, you know. The answer to your problems, okay, is finding God. That's the answer to your issues. Now, if you found God, see, a lot of good things would happen. Um, a lot of good things. But one of the good things that would happen is that from Him you would begin to have understanding, insight, insight. And more important than dealing with your own personal issues, whatever they may be, more important is that you would have insight about others so you could deal with them properly. See, if you saw, for example, okay, see, a lot of you, I'll just give you an example. A lot of you have a grudge against your dad. He wasn't there for you, okay? He failed you in some way, overt or a sin of omission or a sin of commission or a sin of omission. He failed you overtly or subtly. He failed you by what he did or by what he failed to do. Okay? And you sense that somehow that set you up for all kinds of issues, and not to mention going out to the world looking for love. Looking for love in the world. If you had had a good father who had been there for you, see, that closeness with father, that would have been the emotionless love. See, that would have given you a foundation, so you wouldn't have been needy. Okay, and you would have known something about what love is by the example of your father. And then, for example, if you're a lady, why, you would have looked for someone like your father. You probably found someone like your father anyway, or several like your father. But like I said, if he had been a good father, then you would have found someone like him. See, would have been nice. Well, okay, but now here's my point. Remember I said if you got a little closer to God, then you would have understanding. If you could see, really, really, really see, that your father wasn't deliberately being cruel, although it's possible. I mean, there are people who are deliberately cruel, but for the most part, people are what? Lost, confused, upset. They themselves inside are in agony. They themselves are in conflict. See, they have issues they don't know how to solve, let alone help be there for you. See, and they're all mixed up about a lot of things. If you could see that your father didn't have love, he couldn't give love because he didn't have it. He didn't have it for himself. When he was a little boy, people were mean and cruel, and they weren't there for him. His father probably wasn't there for him either, undoubtedly. See? So he maybe was doing the best he could, and it wasn't much. See? Maybe it was nothing. He didn't do anything. See, the other thing is that a lot of fathers are just simply mixed up about what love is. They think love is bringing flowers and being nice, being a people pleaser. That's what they think love is. But that's not what love is at all. Love is something quite different. And it comes from God. And when it comes through the good Father. It comes through him. Okay? But if he doesn't have that connection himself, then he doesn't have it to give. Okay? So if you could see that, okay, and if you could see that your mom resented your father, Which, well, okay, I'm sure you can see that. Maybe you can. Maybe see some some moms or wives are good at covering it up. See, on the surface they are all bubbly and they're always doing for others, but underneath, see, they're resentful. They have a grudge against her husband. See, and that grudge subtly taints everything. See, it ruins her life, her interior life. That resentment, that judgment, that grudge. See, against failing men, beginning with her father who failed her, and then her other men, and then her husband who failed her. See, so she has a grudge against them. So her grudge against your father, see, came out in such a way that it influenced you. See, it's possible that it's even possible that you don't really hate your father, but it's her hate in you. It's her hatred for what men did to her. See, which she transferred to your dad, to your father. It's her hatred. See, it may be her hatred in you. See, or she may have taught you to hate your father, to love her and hate your father, to side with her. See, a lot of times there's a breakup, for example, divorce, and the child is forced to choose sides. Very painful. Okay, so if you could see that, see, and she was too much for him. See, she was too much for him. She came into the marriage with baggage from the past, from her father having failed her, and from what other men did to her. And then when he failed her in some way, then she judged him, puffed up and judged him. See. So now, here's what you need to see. So I'm just giving you a for instance. Okay, so if you could see that he wasn't deliberately being cruel, that he was a lost sheep, and inside he was hurting, and the world was too much for him. The dog-eat-dog world was too much for him. Your mom was too much for him. See? And so he failed you, okay? So if that's the case, then see that is true, but don't hate him for it. If you see, maybe now that you're an adult, maybe you've walked a mile in his moccasins. See, maybe you're for example, in a relationship now as a man, and you're beginning to see that your dad, you thought he was dumb, and so on. Now you see he wasn't so dumb. It was just everything was a little bit too much for him. A lot of men clam up. Maybe he just clammed up, sat back, let everything happen, let your mom be in charge. But you see, the problem with that is that he failed. He failed. See. So, whatever he did or didn't do, forgive him. It doesn't mean you have to pretend it didn't happen. It doesn't mean you have to pretend that to try to make it seem like you like him if you really don't. It doesn't mean you have to have anything to do with him if you don't want to. All it means is that you don't hate him anymore. That's all. You let go of the grudge. So now you see, if you really saw that and you let go of that grudge, then you would become unblocked. Remember, I began by saying that a lot of you are not doing so good. Okay, and you know deep down that what you need is get a little closer to God, but something is blocking you. Well, I can tell you what it is that's blocking you. See, it's one of two things. Okay, number one, it's resentment. Number two, it's doubt. Okay, the resentment is the one you can do the most about. With doubt, God can help with that. But first, see, God said, "Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive others." Okay, that's what Jesus told us to pray. Another place, Jesus said, if you don't forgive other people, then your heavenly Father won't forgive you. Okay, it's very important to forgive other people. Now you have to watch some of my videos which I've made, because you don't know, maybe you don't know what forgiveness is. That's another problem. See, so what you don't you have resentment. See, and then you have issues, and then you get so the resentment blocks you. But then the issues also block you because you get all caught up in the issues, whether they're health issues, financial issues, emotional issues, relationship issues, whatever they are, you get caught up in them. Okay? All fixated on them, and that blocks you from standing back and having insight. See, you need insight. You need an understanding, which comes from God, from His light, which you could have access to if you let go of resentment. See? So you need to learn to let go of resentment. Now, you need a little help to get started, and so you should watch my videos that I've made. I made videos like How to Forgive and Forget. That's probably the title of it, something like that. How to Forgive and Forget. You need to have some understanding. In the Bible it says, my people perish for lack of knowledge, I think it says, or lack of vision. My people perish. See, so you need to have a little bit of knowledge so you can see what forgiveness is. And I'll tell you right now, but you still need to watch my videos, because most of you won't get it. You won't get it. You have to watch my videos many times maybe until finally the penny drops and you get it. Oh, I get it. See, there's a getting it part of it. You have to see that forgiveness doesn't mean being nice to the other person, pretending nothing happened. It doesn't mean that. All it means is letting go of the resentment, letting go of the judgment. See, that's what forgiveness is. Let go of the resentment. That's it. It's so simple. Okay? But some of you are blocked because you don't want to forgive, because you think, well, if I forgive, then I have to be nice to him and have a relationship with him and pretend that nothing happened. No, you don't have to ever have a relationship with the person. You have to pretend nothing happened. See, you can shake the dust from your sandals and go about your life free and never have anything to do with that person again, perhaps. Okay? All you have to do is let go of the resentment. Okay, so see how that insight, you need that. Now, as far as the resentment goes, you have to be willing to let go. And like I said, maybe it helps when you've walked a mile in other people's moccasins. Now you can see what your mom was dealing with, what your dad was dealing with. Okay, so now you can maybe forgive. Now resentment against anybody or anything is not good. But the one that blocks you the most from God, see, you're blocked from God. He's there. In fact, His forgiveness is there. But you're not grasping it because you're blocked by resentment and by fundamental misunderstandings, see, which can be cleared up very quickly in the light. So if you started to let go of resentment, and you got my meditation, help you to stand back, see, be more objective, begin to see things in the light of understanding. It would impart a whole new depth to your life. Okay, you'd begin to see people, to really understand people. Okay, and then understand yourself. The more you understand, the more you see that people are lost sheep, the more you can be forgiving. See? And forgive yourself. Okay? And realize that God has forgiven you. Okay? So now you see it kind of all ties together. Okay? So you need to let go of your grudges against people. Some of you have transferred a resentment against your father to your husband, for example, or against your mom to your wife, or see? And there it is underneath, that resentment. But then on the surface, you feel guilty because of the resentment, because it is wrong. So then you're extra nice. Sometimes you're too nice, way too weak. See, you think that's what being nice. You think being weak, being a people pleaser, compromise. You think that's what. See what? That's not what people really want either. Okay, and it's not what they need, and it's certainly not love. Okay, and then what happens is you resent all over again, because eventually you either by being too needy, you drive people off, or they take advantage. They sense your need for their approval, and so they take advantage. And when they take advantage, then you resent them all over again. So I recommend that you get one of my meditations. They're all good. I talk a lot about the easy meditation because it's free. See, I don't want people to have an excuse. See, some people have been put off by people who claim to be Christian or claim to be religious, and so now they're hair trigger sensitive to the slightest imperfection, and they puff up in judgment, and then throw the old expression to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So just because one Christian or one Christian group, see, was not so good, then they reject. See, so they're just looking for some reason to reject. And so, if I have a meditation that's just for sale only, then people say, "Oh, look, he's just looking for money." See, which although that's not true. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I get back, $5 here, $10 there. So this is, I have given a lot. Okay, given a lot. It's a labor of love. I buy the airtime on the stations. Okay, I pay for the internet time, pay for everything. Get a tiny bit back. Once in a while, somebody says thanks. A lot of times, people don't even say thanks. Okay, but I keep going. I persist. Okay, I persist. But the point is, it's free. The easy meditation is free, so you can't say, "Well, I'm just trying to charge for it." No, it's free. Absolutely free. So that's why I always talk about that one. Okay. I do have other meditations which you can go and check out, and the amount that I ask is very nominal, very, very nominal. You always get free ebooks and all kinds of stuff, so it's a bargain. Okay, believe me, it's a good deal, good deal. But the free one, you start with the free one. Okay, so that's there for you. And then all my YouTube videos, I think that would be the next thing, really. My radio programs are good too. Listen to one or two of those, but especially the YouTube videos, because people can watch a YouTube video. They're only 5 minutes long, 10 minutes long, maybe 15 at the most. And people somehow can watch YouTube videos. So you ought to go, because I have a lot of topics, especially about relationships and about coming back to God. It's just wonderful. Okay. Either you can just go to the YouTubes and just look for a title of one of my videos that you like, or you could go to the playlist, because in the playlist I've already divided them up into different topics: relationships, how to forgive, how to let go of anger, how to improve your prayer life. See, I have all these different playlists already made, so that would be good too. So look, the resources are there for you. Okay. And I heartily encourage you to take advantage of them. My name is Pastor Roland.